Today has been a computer day. I am sitting inside my new office and working on my web store, adding new products, and working on programming overall throughout my entire website. Cleaning things up, going through the code. Basically, this is a good rainy day project. I really need to get more work done on the websites. There's always something to do. And you will have seen the video of the newest products that were added. Oops, I'm uploading a video, so that was just very, very slow. Which also slows down my work, but anyway. Yeah, so I've been working on the websites, working on programming. I hand code my websites. Every single thing I do is hand coded. And it's all in a Word file. And it's all done by hand, just typing it all out, line by line, bit by bit. All done by hand. I guess you can call me old school in that, and that I prefer coding every single thing I do with the keyboard and with no extra weird tools and no programs and software. I do it line by line, word by word. And this is the end result. The do-it-yourself world websites. Anyway, Google has changed since I do earn a lot on my websites, and it's part of my income. And Google has changed the requirements for websites to be in the search engines. I have a lot of work to do, reprogramming everything. So that's why I spend so much time up here now. I have been cooking on the wood stove. I got the Dutch oven out. Let me show you this tasty, amazing meal I've got going on in here. Look at that. I've got some rice in there, and I've got some potatoes, and I've got some onions, and I've got some Brussels sprouts, and I've got some chicken in there. And that's been slow cooking for hours. This looks amazing. So that's going to be my dinner. I'm going to check it out right now and make sure it's all done through. Looks like some of the rice didn't cook through thoroughly on the side there. But slow cooking on the off-grid Homestead wood stove. Really, really makes for some nice food. So that's food for about at least 2 days. Probably 2 meals the way I eat. And I'm going to enjoy. I have been doing a few Homestead cooking videos recently, so I won't be recording this, or I did not record this in its entirety. I'm just going to enjoy it. So I'll talk to you guys later. Now, some of you guys don't think my portions are large enough, so that should take care of that situation real quick. That's my dinner tonight, and I'll probably eat more after that. Some snacks or dessert or something. I'm going to enjoy. Talk to you later. Hey everybody, Troy from the Do-It-Yourself World and the Off-Grid Project. It was supposed to be sunny today, but we've actually got snow flurries, so I don't know what's going on here. Anyway, because it was supposed to be sunny, today is maple syrup tapping day. Maple tree tapping day. Anyway, back at it again, but I'm going to do it a lot more serious this year. The first year was an absolute experiment. Last year, I was building on the house at the same time, and it just didn't turn out right. This year, I'm going to really dedicate my time to making maple syrup. The idea is maple syrup equals money, and I am surrounded by trees just waiting. These are valuable natural resources right here. I've got ribbons on some of them. I've got green paint markers on some old ones from the past here and there. These are all maples right here around me. These ones right here are too young, and I don't know, I should probably cut them out, although I hate to do that. But this old one here needs the resources, and this one right next to it. So if I cut these little guys out, which would take years and years to be productive anyway, then these two will get the resources they need to really develop properly. Again, I hate to cut maple trees, but these 4 right here are just sucking resources from this one and from this one. So I've got to make my call, you know, and I've got to thin out the trees and let these guys develop. Anyway, so I'm going to tap a tree. Again, that's what is going on right now. Tapping trees. That's my project for today. So I won't bore you with a whole mess of video. And we're supposed to go about chest high. I don't know why in the past I went really low. But you're supposed to go about chest high. And also because I am going to run containers. I think I'm going to go and work smart this year and string a bunch of containers up into one massive collection point. I'll probably have to build like a shelter out of pallets temporarily around a large container. But if one of these totes is, if I find out one of these big 275 gallon tanks is safe to use for food, then I can definitely use that. Now this drill bit looks largish on me here. I'm going to find out in a minute here. So you want to go at a slight upward angle so that the sap will flow down and out. But you got to start in first. And go in at a slight upward angle. And about 2 inches in. You can tell you hit the heartwood because, let me see. You get this soft, actually very nice tasting wood. And I've got sap. I have hit sap. So now I take my tap. It's from a real maple syrup supplier. And you want to try to get the holes, by the way, on the south facing side. I use my trusty Leatherman as a hammer. You don't want to tap it in hard, you just want it snug so that there's no leak around the tap. You just want it to not leak is all you want, a snug fit, alright? And I'll keep an eye on that, and any ones that are dripping I tap it in a little bit tighter in the future. Now I've got to come down into a bucket that I've got here. Now I've got sap flow. It's not much because today's a cold day. It was an unexpectedly cold day. You have to, let me put that on first. It's easier. Maybe not. Alright. I don't want to break my tap off. Okay, now, on a warm sunny day, especially with the sun shining on this tree, that's going to really start seeping heavily. Now I've got a milk jug, and can you see me? I'm going to put a hole in the lid of the milk jug, right dead center in the lid. Take that lid off, I don't want to get plastic in there. Need that a little bit bigger. I'm slowly getting it together. I've got my kit from last year put together. So I've got all my drill bits together, and I've got all my tubing and all my taps and everything all together nice and neat. Now, got a clean water jug. Actually, not milk jug, I should say water jug. I want to be correct in my terms. Got a clean water jug. And I just want this tubing to go down inside the jug. Just a little bit. This is actually maple syrup industry standard tubing. And then that is going to go inside the jug. And then I come back every day and harvest my syrup. My sap, I should say. There it is. There's one tree ready to go, and it is starting to run a tiny, tiny bit. Now, if the sun comes out like it's supposed to have, I'll get quite a bit of sap coming through there. Now, one thing I gotta do, I have to make a relief hole in here, because what I found out is I'll actually get a, I'll actually end up having a seal. What do you call it? I just punched a little relief hole in here, in this lid for air, because what do I get? Not a vacuum, but an overpressure situation where the jug starts to fill up, and then it builds up pressure in a line, and then it cannot, the sap cannot seep out anymore properly. So I found that's necessary. Let me show you what I got going on here. So there's the tap, and then going, and you can see the seepage around it, and then a tube going down into a container, so it's sealed. Now I need it sealed because there are bugs, there's going to be ants, not yet, but there will be moths and ants that I want to get inside that and drink the tasty nectar from the tree. So I've got to keep that closed off. Now, if you look in the tube, I don't know if you can see the tiny bit of moisture around the tip. Not much, but it's starting to slowly trickle down inside that tube. And again, that'll be a whole lot more on a sunny day. So I'm just going to keep on tapping here. I've got a lot of trees to cover. Now right here we have a good flow. This is a very good flow for a cold day like this. Sweet maple water. It's dripping and it's leaking a little, so I've got to tighten it up a bit. Try not to drive them in too hard or too deep. I don't want to damage them, the tree. So it's going to be a job this year. It's a real job. I mean, this is a big effort. It's usually a team effort with a bunch of people. So it's going to keep me busy. So I don't know if you can see, back off, if you can see what I'm doing. Yeah, I think you can see what I'm doing. Right now I'm just prepping the jug to take that. Now I'm going to have to prop that jug up on something. The wind tends to want to take them away, for one thing, and spill them over. There we go, we're collecting maple sap already today. Now I've got to get going on an evaporator quick. That'll probably be the project for tomorrow. Okay, now I've got to put a relief hole in that jug. And I'll come back and prop it up with something so it doesn't pull open. What happens is the weight of the liquid filling it will pull it open, and then I'll lose everything I'm gathering. So I'm going to put a rock under that. There's a rock right here that might do the job. Nice flat rock. Nice shelf rock. If I can get the rock up there and prop it up, then I can keep the jug from spilling over. Let me see how much. Yeah, that'll work. Once it fills, yeah, that'll work fine. Once it starts to fill, it's awkward in the beginning. The hose wants to pull the jug up in the air, I think I might design some weights on the handle of these in the future, because that just wants to float. Anyway, I ought to keep tapping. Big day today. Well, there's two maples, one behind another. I got a little bit of sap, but it wasn't very warm today, so I'm not surprised that I didn't get a lot. Let me see, what's that one look like? Can I see it from here? Same thing. So tomorrow is another day. We'll see what happens tomorrow. See if I can get some more sap. Well, there's a couple of the trees I did. I've got a lot more. I've done a few more, and I've got a lot more yet to tap. But it's taken me a lot of time to set up the taps, set up the hose, especially the ones I'll show you in a minute. Let's go over here. These doubles like this one here take a little bit longer to set up. And I'm also sterilizing the buckets, cleaning the buckets, double tapping the trees, setting up the tubing and the tees, running the buckets. So it takes time, but that's what I've been up to today. Tapping trees for maple syrup. That one looks a little bit damp. I'm gonna go have a look at it. That's another thing. Double checking. Any damp ones, you tap in harder, and make sure there's no leaks so you don't lose any valuable fluid. Well, that's everybody. That's the end of a day. This is Wednesday, so I gotta go to church, so it's a bit of an earlier end. Troy from the Do-It-Yourself World and the Off-Grid Project. Tapping maple trees today. Early, but gotta get it done. It's flowing.